If that were so, if Father had not been so suspicious of him, and summoned him back here to question him about those wild claims, he wouldn't have... How I wish I had been here at that time.
It was fortunate that you weren't with them, or you would have been caught up in it as well. Even if it was provoked by Xiaojang, it was the Emperor who made that decision. Reopening that old case will no longer be easy. Please, just take my advice. Let the case go. Please, Your Highness.
Master Su, I know you're right. But if I let this go, what kind of brother would I be to them? What Xiu said was just the beginning. There's more to it, and I cannot rest until I find out the whole story. That is why for this endeavor, I hope you can provide me your help. Master Su, you are a discerning man and a fair one. Help me set this old injustice right. Do me this great favor.
Is Your Highness aware that if the Emperor finds out that you're investigating Prince Chi's case, you will get in serious trouble for it?
I know that.
Does Your Highness know that even if you learned about what happened then, it will not be beneficial to our plans right now?
I know that.
Does Your Highness also know that your father, the Emperor, is never going to admit his error?
I know that.
So you already know all that, and you still wish to proceed?
That's right. I have to find out why they were unjustly killed, and later, when I take over the throne, I shall give them the recognition they deserve. I know that this is not our goal, and that this will only earn my father's anger. But I cannot turn a blind eye to what was done to them.
Since I have taken Your Highness as Lord, I must carry out your orders. From here on, I shall exhaust all my efforts in order to find out the truth.
Thank you, Master Su. How many?
27 tolls.
It's from the Palace's Golden Bell, Your Highness, which announces the passing of an Imperial family member. That only means... great-grandmother. She has passed away. Chief! Chief!
Chief!
Chief!
Chief!
Great-grandmother.
Kneel! Bow! Rise! Bow! Rise! Bow!
Great-grandmother has already gone ahead. She could no longer wait for my return.
The chief cannot attend the vigil, but he still intends to observe the 3-day fast. With all that kneeling and kowtowing, I'm afraid he'll fall ill again.
He's paying his last respects for an elder, so we cannot stop him. All we can do here is to ask Dr. Yan to keep helping him.
That's all we can do for him.
Jingyan, here, have some. It's all right. Look at Jingshuan and Jinghuan. Share this with me.
I wish to fast. But thank you. It's all right. Just keep eating. You need to gain weight. Great-grandmother won't mind.
Brother Shen, have you heard?
Have I heard what?
The Emperor plans to send one of his sons to Mount Wei to hold a vigil for the Grand Empress Dowager.
Could it be Prince Jing?
I'm not sure, but judging from the 30-day vigil they're having, it'll probably not be Prince Jing.
So you've noticed as well.
Well, who would not notice that? The Crown Prince and Prince Yu are so used to comfort to even restrict themselves during the vigil, their lax behavior setting a bad example to their siblings. Prince Jing may just be a second-rank prince, and has not lived in comfort like his older brothers, but he looked more regal. In that rare event, when they're seen together, one can easily spot how different he is from them.
And do you think that would be favorable or unfavorable to him?
What do you think?
Chief, here's your medicine. Failure.
You've returned.
For great-grandmother's funeral.
Have you seen her?
She looked peaceful. She lived a good life.
I wish I had been with her.
In her mind and in her heart. You were always with her.
I only saw her once. Since I returned to the capital. That day she held my hand and said,
Oh, Shu, you have lost weight. I have something for you. Have this. It's your favorite sweet since you were a child. Go ahead, take it there.
whether she had really recognized me, or she was just getting senile. I knew then that she had always kept me in her heart. I kept wishing that I would have the chance to return to her. Now she's gone and I'll never see her again.
She had always loved you the most. I still remember the time when your father wanted to punish you then for doing a naughty deed. She would always rush in to protect you every time.
Whenever I think of those old memories, I would feel a small spark of fire inside my heart. That warms me for a while, before I'm swallowed back by the cold.
Linshu, don't say that. You still have me. We'll still be together. Just let me look after you.
Niwang. The Emperor will arrange your betrothal. Even if we cannot be together. You're going to be fine.
But I won't. I won't go back to Yunnan. I don't want to be so far away from you again.
You can't be here at the capital. Don't you understand? I'd be distracted.
I'll go to Mount Wei. During this grieving period, the Emperor will not be able to marry me off to someone. I'm sure he'll allow that, instead of having me return to Yunnan again.
Very well. Lately, the Emperor has been a bit tense. Perhaps having you there at Mount Wei will put his mind at ease. And it's better for the South Border Army and Muqing to take charge there for now.
Don't you want me by your side?
What I want is to make sure that you'll be safe. If you were in danger, it would be our downfall.
Go ahead. He's still very fortunate. He would have had a death sentence. But with Xiaozheng's intervention, and this period of grief over great-grandmother's death, he's been exiled instead.
He was wrong to take the side of the Crown Prince. It's a shame how a brilliant first-rank Marquis General, the noble son-in-law of the Emperor, would have fallen in such disgrace. It will be a long journey for him, and all he has with him are his crude clothes and a pair of shackles. He's no different from any common criminal.
He had everything, and it only took one event to destroy him completely. You're right, Minister An. He was wrong to have chosen the wrong side. I feel sorry for him.
Bailiff! Please wait for us! Hold on!
Whoa!
Bailiff, we've come to see this man off. Please give us a moment.
Be quick.
Thank you.
Father. Your mother has come too. Yes.
Will I ever see you again?
I'm afraid not.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Not anymore. Where I'm going, you can no longer protect me. There's nothing more you can do to help me out there.
Yesterday, Master Su sent someone to see me. He said you have to give me a letter.
A letter?
He said if you do not have one, you should write one right away. He said you must have some reservation about the matter you told him then. And that if you wrote it down and gave it to me, you would be able to rest easy. I do not know what he meant, so I'm relaying his exact words. I do not think that Master Su is sending you a simple message. There must be something more to it. Do you know what he's saying?
I know what he means. He wants me to write down the secret and have you keep it. While I'm alive, my secret will be safe. But if I die, the letter will be revealed. It is my guarantee to keep me safe, and HaiYan will think twice about killing me. Truly a Kirin scholar. Do you have some paper?
Master Su said that the more people who see you write it, the better.
That's right. The purpose is to let HaiYan know that I wrote this letter myself.
After the vigil, I heard you fell ill. It has been a while. Are you feeling better?
Much better. I heard the tomb vigil has been arranged.
Yes, my sixth brother will go. Today, Lady Niwang suddenly volunteered to hold a one-year vigil for great-grandmother. His Majesty agreed to it. Also, the discussion about the warhorse supply chain before the grieving period was very helpful. This was created in accordance to what we discussed. Please have a look.
Great. Speaking of the supply chain, who in the court would have more insight into the matter than Your Highness?
You told me to keep a low profile. There are many things that I was not able to say in court. But here I can express my ideas freely, and although we debate endlessly, it's beneficial for both of us.
Your Highness is comfortable. Right. Last time we did not have time to finish discussing the details about the provision supply, right?
Please elaborate.
Well, if the food supply is cut off, you'll have to purchase local provisions. It's best to do so in one transaction. Also, the amount purchased must not exceed half of the area's annual production. According to the average annual harvests, the grain production of an area of 10 villages, with a population of 4,000, will be 60,000 kilograms. Thus, you can only purchase 30 kilograms for an average of 10,000 soldiers. What do you think of that, Your Highness? Your Highness.
Master Su, have you ever heard of the young marshal of the Qian army, Lin Shu?
I've heard of him. Why does your highness suddenly ask?
What you were saying just now reminded me of him. I think if you two had met, you would have been close friends, just as we've become. He was a great man, just like you.
I'm just an ordinary man, and sickly at that. How can I be mentioned in the same breath as Marshal Lin? I'm flattered, your highness.
But I find it strange. You're from the pugilist world. How did you come to be familiar with provisioning an army?
There are many retired soldiers and generals in the Jiangsu Alliance. They're all very experienced. I often learn from them. But in reality, it's just odds and ends, not systematic at all. Perhaps some of the things I would share will make you laugh.
Is it done?
It's done.
Don't worry. I will not allow anyone else to read this. Even I will not dare. I do not wish to know what you have done.
It's best that you don't. Liang. Guard that safely. Don't hand it over to Meichangsu.
I promise. As long as you're alive, I will always carry this with me. You have nothing to worry about. I brought some clothes and money for your journey. Just be safe.
Liang. Can you ever forgive me for everything? Well, I still have a long way to go. Be strong, for the children's sake. Shebi. Father. Always look after your mother. I will.
Is Shia going into exile today?
The Crown Prince has lost his best supporter, and Prince Yu still won't let up. Will you just let Prince Yu keep on hounding him?
No. I'll advise him to leave the Crown Prince alone. But I can foresee that he will not listen to me.
I guess that's inevitable, when one has the upper hand. But with the Crown Prince on the losing end, Father will be protective of him. And if Prince Yu doesn't stop, he could get into trouble. But listen, do you really intend to keep Shiyu alive?
I only meant to protect him from Shajang. Although someone else will come after him now.
And who's that?
Shadong. Shadong will not let him go far.
Shiyu cannot be fully blamed for what happened. And with Shajang as her master, there's no telling what her real intentions are.
She served at the Bureau for years, and is a sharp-minded officer. The more she believes what she has said, the less likely she will confront Shajang about it. I sincerely hope she takes this matter to heart, because she would be a great asset to Your Highness in the future.
Sister Dong, what are you doing? He's about to leave.
Jingri. Step aside.
My family is here. We came to see him off, and I will not have you hurt him.
Officer Shah. What are you all so nervous about? I came to see him off as well. After all, I should be grateful to the great Marquise for bringing back my husband's remains all those years ago. Marquise Shi, just be careful. It's a dangerous road ahead. So you must always stay alert and never let your guard down. Since there are things that are far worse than death, I hope you have enough clothes to survive the bitter cold of Qian. Farewell.
It's already getting late. Let's head out.
Your Majesty, constant anger is not good for your heart.
Tell that to my two insolent sons. With all the fighting and bickering they do, they'll be the death of me!
That's natural. The two princes are simply debating about certain issues of the court, which you will decide about later. There's no need for you to get upset about that. Wait. Your Majesty, you just had your meal. Why don't you rest a while?
How can I rest? With all the cicadas buzzing out there, how can I rest?
You heard His Majesty. Do something about it. Shake the branches off the trees to drive the cicadas away.
At once!
These. Your Majesty. Your Majesty. Did you forget that it's Consort Jing's birthday today? Remember concubine Jing, whom you promoted to consort? Why don't we go see her?
It's her birthday today?
Yes.
Have you sent over gifts?
Your Majesty, the Imperial Household Department has sent them over to her this morning.
Good. She has lived at the Inner Palace for years. I should go and see her. All right. Start preparing 10 bolts of brocade, 10 bowls of pearls, and 10 jade carvings that I can hand over to her.
As you wish.
Wait, do you think that they're enough?
Oh yes, they're more than enough, Your Majesty.
Mother, your cooking continues to improve. This lily soup is delicious and refreshing this summer. When I was still at the camp and our rations were low, we officers would forgo our meals. And whenever I'd feel the hunger, I would just imagine the meals you would cook for me. If I wasn't afraid of wearing you out, I wish you would cook my meals every day.
I would always love to cook for you. It's just that you're only allowed here once a month. There's nothing we can do about that. Just enjoy the food while you can. Here, I also made some golden dumplings and mung bean cakes. You should take some with you when you leave.
Thank you, Mother.
Here's some herbal chicken soup. I made it specially for you. Here, have some. We did not know that Your Majesty has arrived. Please forgive me, Your Majesty.
You may rise. You too, Jingyan.
Thank you, Father.
I just remembered that today's your birthday, so I brought you some gifts.
His Majesty presents Consort Jing 10 bolts of brocade, 10 bowls of pearls, and 10 jade carvings as gifts for her birthday.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Are these gifts not satisfactory?
They are, Your Majesty.
And what time did Jingyan arrive here?
Father, I arrived this afternoon.
It's your mother's birthday. Why didn't you come earlier?
Oh, I asked him to come at that time, Your Majesty. I had to come see the Empress this morning, and to mourn for the great Grand Empress. If he came earlier, I would not have had time to see him.
Jingyan has been doing very well for himself. He has accomplished all his tasks with great excellence. I've been planning to reward you, but things would get in the way. So now that we're here before your mother, tell me, what is your request?
Thank you, Father. I was merely doing my duty by completing the task you have assigned. However, I do not wish to refuse your kind offer. Therefore, I shall boldly voice out my request. I request that you pardon an exiled prisoner in Lingnan.
Which prisoner is that? Are you pertaining to that pretentious, addle-brained, so-called scholar who openly criticized the Imperial Court? Why do you want him free? So you can insult the court as a scheme to gain sympathizers? Why did you ask for that? Why?
Don't be angry, Father. The prisoner I wish to have pardoned is only a commoner, with no sympathizers. He was only implicated after his son mistakenly wrote the first emperor's name during an imperial exam and was convicted of irreverence.
If he's only a commoner, why would he have you beg for my pardon on his behalf?
Your Majesty, forgive me. This person is a country doctor. He also taught me medicine back then, and I was one of his students. I told my son about that. A month ago, I heard that my old teacher has been exiled in Lingnan. I felt so bad that he had to suffer Lingnan's hardships at his old age since he was implicated for his son's irreverent crime. It just grieves me to know that my old teacher may die alone in a foreign land, and his spirit will be lost and not rest in peace. Your Majesty, I cried to Jingyan about it, but I did not know that he would take it to heart and request for Your Majesty to pardon him. I should be blamed for that mistake.
Now I understand. So you just felt sorry for the man, I don't know why you need to ask me for that. Now listen, Jingyan, you're a prince. You can grant him that pardon yourself. Just send one of your soldiers and have him released. You don't need to ask me for something you can give yourself. Ask for something else.
But Father, the crime of irreverence can be pardoned by no one else but the Emperor himself. Although I am a prince, I do not have the right to do that. I only wish to please my mother. Please consent to it.
Jingyan, you've never changed. You're as stubborn as ever. But it's good to know that you are not the kind who will abuse your power and overreach your authority. Very well. I will grant your request. Are you satisfied? Today, I will send a decree for it.
Thank you very much, Father.
Thank you, Your Majesty.